Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. We made it. We made it. Made it through another work week if you work outside of the home. But if not, you just made it to the weekend, Made it to the weekend. It's always better on the weekends. But if you're new to the channel, my name is Tanya or Titanium Built, and we do talk all things true crime here. Normally I'm on camera, but I have a mess behind me today. And I didn't feel like cleaning it up right now. So I was like, I'll just go on camera later tonight. I had a doctor's appointment and it was in this room, so I had to bring out a different desk. Hey, Mary Beth, and Jan's here, and Isabel. Hey, Lenora, we got all kinds of people. I was hoping that I could get you guys to come in if I was a little earlier. Hey, Queen Olive. I knew that I've been going kind of late. And I just saw your message too. I hope you feel better, Jan. And Isabel, that woman's got to sleep, spilled beans. But I wanted to come on during the day because I missed Isabel and I missed Jan. I said, Where's our morning? Well, they were our evening crew, but now they're more our morning crew. Oh, spilled beans. Hey, Melmac, welcome in. Hey, Linda. So I figured we would just kind of talk about Madalina Cojocari and listen to Chris Paltmetler's testimony today. So last night when we did our live, hey, Butterfly Angel, I'm having a great weekend. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. So last night we went over the timeline of the case over, Madalina Cojocari, and we looked at Diana Cojocari being released from jail after pleading guilty. She pled guilty to failure to report a missing child, her daughter being the missing child. We haven't heard anything about when and if they're going to deport her back to her country of Moldova because she was just over here on a visa. I don't know when that date is, but we got to make sure she doesn't get on that plane. She gets on the plane, she goes over there, it's a done deal. If anything happens and they did find, let's say, heaven forbid, they found remains of Madalina's, they wouldn't be able to prosecute her because of the fact that she's in her country and we don't have an extradition treaty with them. So they won't be like giving her to us anytime soon, like ever. So we got to make sure we keep her here. But Chris Paltmetler, he did decide to go to trial. She pled guilty, and she's out now. And then he pled not guilty, and they just finished trial with him. And I was really surprised that Court TV was there because they didn't cover the story. Queen Olive, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to, let me write that down because I always say I'm going to write them and then I forget. I need to write Cornelius police because I want to know, okay, so what happens in this situation, right? They charged her with failure to report her daughter missing. Well, we still haven't found her daughter, but by law, you can only serve so much time. I think it's like 17 months. And she's been in there over a year, like a year and a half. So they had to release her, but we still don't have your daughter. Like that's what I'm really confused about. So I was gonna ask the police. I can write them and ask them, what's going on in the investigation. What does this mean? Because I told you I will strap myself to an airplane before I let her get on one. Literally, her mother, Diana Cojocari's mother, came over here from Moldova and was telling reporters, "If you just let my daughter out, we'll leave your country." Didn't say, we want to find Madalina when she gets out. No, it was let me and my daughter out, and we'll go back to Moldova. It's just crazy. We missed you, Jan. Missed you. And thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. So what we'll do is we'll watch this little video I pulled. I love Julie Grant from Court TV. She's so sweet. We'll watch this and then we will watch it's like the first hour of court proceedings. And there's a lot of new stuff that we hear in this. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff that's been coming out as well. So 14 months, Jan, look at that. Man, 14 months. I love it. Thank you for being a member for so long. Wait, where's Cheryl? Cheryl, she doesn't know we're live. Today she gets her 1 year badge. I remembered because she was so excited talking about it the other night. So we'll have to, when she comes in tonight, she probably don't realize, Yeah, I haven't been going to Target. I haven't been going to Target lately. I was there the other day, but I just got cat food. I haven't been looking for myself for stuff, which is weird. I think it's because I got everything. I just saw the comment. Hey, Manny V. Yeah, it's good to see everybody in here. I'm gonna start doing some more day lives. It's just been kind of hard because Vincent's been here during the day a little bit more lately. So I'm like, got stuff to do, buddy. But I don't know. When he's here, I don't I don't want to do anything. I just want to hang out and look at him and bother him. That's all I want to do whenever he's here. So this is the missing person flyer for Madalina. It's the we I usually grab the one from the FBI, but this is the one that I have. So this is the Cornelius Police Department, and it's just a press release, and it just says that the SBI and the FBI continue to search for Madalina. Thank you for continuing to spread information on social media to help us find Madalina. Hashtag find Madalina. We still need your assistance in continuing to flood the area with her precious face. We are looking for anyone who may have firsthand information on the whereabouts of Madalina. If you have any information that could help detectives, please contact the Cornelius Police Department at 704-892-7773. Man, I really hope that we can get some more eyes on this. Okay, Jan, yeah, let me know. Hey, Karen. Oh, yeah, we try to switch it up as much as we can. I wanted to do, either tonight we'll do Sebastian or we'll do Long Island, and then the next night we'll do whichever, vice versa, because there's a lot of stuff. Really, Melmac? Oh my gosh, if I was that close, I'd be over there screaming from the rooftops. But I don't know if she's there, if she's in the mountains somewhere. Her mom possibly. There's a small possibility that her mom does have her hidden. You know, the way that we saw her come out of court, or we came out of the police station yesterday, and we'll see a clip of that video again. When they mentioned Madalina's name, she smiles. Like she can't help herself, but it's almost like a smile, like I know she's okay. Like it's not like a grieving smile, like something horrible's happened. It's like kind of like gotcha, almost like you know what I mean. I don't know. It's weird. They didn't. So as far as I know, they didn't sell the house that they have there. So I'm not sure if that's where Diana is staying right now. And then if Chris Pottmettler gets out, how is that going to work? Are they allowed around each other? I mean, I guess they are. It's just this case is so crazy because these people are going to be out, and that's why I followed the Lori Vallow case, but it's been so long since the start of her case. I'm trying to think of what they charged her with. I'm pretty sure it was failure to report a child missing. But then it was like, okay, well then how did we get to where she was still in jail? Like we didn't let her leave, you know? Because hello, if you can't produce your child, if your child is missing and you cannot produce your child, you should not be able to get out of jail. Pretty much. That's how I think of it anyway. Oh, and yeah, I can't wait to go over Long Island with you guys, Rex Heuermann. There is so much stuff coming out on that case. It's like, whoa, buckle up for that one. That case is about to be exploding. I thought it already was exploding, but it's really exploding. Yeah, mom wouldn't talk. Man. And then she was saying, first she was like blaming it on Chris Pottmettler, and then her mom was trying to say that someone sold her for $5 million, meaning Madalina and Diana. I'm sorry, but no one's giving you $5 million for two women that they're I don't know. I just don't see that for like two women from another country. One of them, Madalina Cojocari. I mean, she's not much to look at. The only thing good would be Madalina. But you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, they're not even like, it's not like they're, um, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like traffickers, I mean, they probably have they probably don't care, but I would think that they would want a certain person, a certain type to be paying top dollar, like 5 million. I would think that it would be like, someone between the ages of like, I don't know, like a small age, and then, maybe like blonde hair, blue eyes, white. But I don't know. Send me a DM on X. Okay, thank you, Jan. I'll look at it. I feel like there's like, with traffickers, they would have like a type, but she's still able, yeah. Yeah, she's still able to have them, yeah. I'm gonna play this and I will talk to you guys in the chat. And this is gonna give you guys a little bit of an update on the timeline and stuff too.
Jury selection continues this morning for a brand new trial that we're following for you here on Court TV. This one is the missing stepdaughter trial. It's happening in North Carolina for defendant Christopher Palmitter. His stepdaughter, 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari, vanished back in November of 2022. Palmitter and Madalina's mother, Diana Cojocari, both are facing one count of failure to report a missing child. Now, little Madalina was last seen getting off of her school bus, and according to police reports, it took her parents 3 weeks to file a missing persons report. Madalina's grandparents allege that she was a victim of sex trafficking, saying that her mother, Diana, was scared of Palmitter and was seeking ways to leave him. With Madalina still missing this morning, the question is, where should the investigation go from here? Time to bring in my power panel this morning. Still with me, Sergeant Joe Giacalone, host of True Crime with the Sarge podcast. He's a retired NYPD detective. Also want to bring in trial attorney and trial advocacy professor Dante Mills and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Michael J. Brown. Great to see you all this morning. Sergeant Joe, I want to start with you, our investigator on the panel. Talk to us here, please. Your thoughts on where this goes next.
Well, yes, we have a situation where you have a no-body case and the investigators have to put things together. The house, I believe, is the most important part of the crime scene. And then you have to look at the body of water, which is not far from it, because unfortunately, when you see cases like this, they're either buried nearby, they're in a body of water, or the dumpster, unfortunately, is used in a lot of these cases. So investigators have their work cut out for them, but I still think they need to concentrate on that house. And if possible, maybe another search warrant and bring cadaver dogs in, because usually the victims are stored in that house for a period of time as the people are trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah. And I told you guys last night, they had when they went in for their search warrant, they had a spot in their house that was like marked off. And when the investigators asked Chris Palmitter, like, hey, what's going on with this, renovation y'all have going on right now? He was like, oh, we're just building a new apartment. So if they didn't take cadaver dogs in there, then yeah, they need to be doing that. And is it too late now?
A great point, Sarge. Thank you for that. This is horrible. Dante Mills, want to go to you next.
And I say that because Chris Palmitter's been out of jail for like a month or so now. So whatever is going on in that home, I mean, he could be doing anything in that home if he had anything to do with it.
Please, your thoughts on this case.
Yes, again, these cases happen way too often, Julie, and a lot of times what you see is it's not a one-person crime, especially when you have someone who has been missing for 3 weeks before it was reported. You have to understand that people knew, right? Somebody knew that she was missing, including her mother. Now, will they speak with the mother and have her come forward? And if the word is that she was afraid of her significant other, if the police are involved, and let them know that they'll protect her, that he'll be in jail, will she come forward and tell her story about what's been happening? Will she also be charged? There's something was happening in that household where the child was used in sex trafficking, and she wasn't reporting it. Those are the things that you're going to look at. Who was involved, how long it's been going on, and then who they can get to come forward and talk about the situation so they can close in on the story and get some finality on this case.
Yeah, great points, Dante. Thank you for all of that. Last but not least, Michael J. Brown, your thoughts on this case, please.
Julie, good morning. I agree with all the guests. The only thing I want to put out there, which nobody's mentioned, is there's always the possibility that this young lady is not a victim of any death. And there was talk about the mother being concerned for her safety because of some type of violence by the stepdad. So there's always the possibility. I just want to play devil's advocate. There is the possibility that the mother was greatly concerned about her safety and actually put her in a safe location. So it's out there. I don't know the validity of it, but obviously the investigators need to pursue all different leads on this.
Excellent point, Michael. Thank you for that. Let's talk a little bit more about Madalina's mother in particular. So Diana Cojocari reached a plea agreement Monday. She was sentenced to time served for the 17 months that she was in custody. When leaving court, she was asked about her daughter.
Is Madalina safe right now?
Do you know where she is?
I hope.
Okay, well, the angle that we had last night, it was right in front of her. So this isn't the right angle because this is a different news station. But yeah, when they ask about Madalina right there, she does smile.
So, come on.
She hopes so. Okay. Well, she's not an American citizen, and there's a chance she could be deported after pleading guilty to that felony. This means any information about Madalina's whereabouts would go with her if she's deported, right? The question is this morning, I think many people's blood is boiling just like it is mine. This mother had a duty to protect that child. How do we get true justice for little Madalina, especially when you have a mother like this who may have been complicit here? Don't know. Let's bring back in our power panel. Dante Mills, I'd love to start with you on this, please.
I'm no lawyer, but let's start with me. I feel like if you have a child that's in your custody and all of a sudden you cannot produce that child that's in your custody, you go to jail until you figure out where that child is, and then you tell the police and they go find her, and then you get out. Let's make that the law. Not you get out first.
I'm going to follow up on Michael's point. I mean, her answer, I hope so, I guess is more promising than if she gave an answer that made it clear that she wasn't safe. Saying, I don't know who did it or something like that. So maybe she did put her in a safe place. These situations happen too often, and I think we do need to just get some information out there that there are safe locations for people, that there is a way out when you feel like you are in danger, that you should protect yourself, you should protect your children in those situations. Clearly, it was a problem household where the male in that household was not treating these people the right way, and you just hope that they got out of it. And I'm going to be in good spirits and hope that she got out in a safe way and that she wasn't killed. I would rather do that since we don't know than speculate the other way.
Exactly. Let's all hope and pray she is still alive. Michael J. Brown, to you next, please. Your thoughts on Madalina's mother and her potential involvement here.
Well, Julia, as former prosecutors, you and I know that we can do, and hopefully they've tried this, do what's called a proffer or a sit down. She already pled guilty to the lack of reporting, but there's still that potential homicide charge out there. So as a prosecutor, you would expect them to say, hey, you can sit down with us in our office. We'll sign this queen for a day or proffer agreement. You can tell us anything you want about her whereabouts, or unfortunately, if she is a homicide victim, and we can't use it against you on the direct case. And this may lead to finality one way or another. And it also could help her if in fact she in a beneficial way, put this child in a safe location, maybe even deal with the conviction that's outstanding. So that's what I would expect would happen, or at least an attempt.
Great points, Michael. Thank you for that. Sergeant Joe Giacalone, would you take us home on this point here? In terms of mom, how she could be helpful to the investigation, what would you do to maybe lean on her? As Michael said, there are ways to try to extract some information out of her and see if she could help.
I wonder, and I'm interrupting so I don't forget, but I wonder if she could go right now and buy a plane ticket and leave the country. Like, I wonder if the cops called her in to for questioning, if she could just leave the country.
Be a witness here to find the child alive.
Well, I expect to see an ICE detainer put on her, and she's going to be back in custody, so to speak. They're not going to let her leave the country, and they're not going to deport her. And that might be the leverage that they need in order to get her to talk if they believe that something criminal has happened. This is something that is that's the way it goes in cases where you have somebody who is not in the country lawfully. And it is something that could be used to keep the person here. There's still a lot more to be known, but, the prosecution will have a big job ahead of them to try to prove that this person is no longer here and that the person that they have did it. And that's how they would have to bring a homicide case when you have a no body case.
Okay. So I just wanted to get caught up, everyone kind of caught up with that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll play this. I might put it on 1.25 speed, just depending on how slow they are. I'm not sure how slow they're going to talk, but yeah. So basically, Madalina Cojocari went missing back in 2022. She was getting off of her school bus, and it was the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and she was not seen after the 23rd. Her mom says she went to bed at 10 o'clock the next day. By 11 a.m. the next morning, she went into her daughter's room, couldn't find her daughter. Chris Paltmetler had left the night before because him and Diana had an argument. He decided to go ahead and get some things from in Michigan. They live in North Carolina. And he went the weekend of Thanksgiving. I I don't get that part. But she didn't call and ask Chris Pottmeller if he knew where she was after waking up and finding Madalina not there. That would have been the first call I would have made, since, he did leave the house. But she didn't call. She waited 3 days till he returned home. And then she told him, hey, Madalina isn't here. Is she with you? His exact words were, no, is she with you? So for 3 weeks, they went back and forth saying, are you hiding her? No, are you hiding her? It's comical almost, but it's not. So this is where we are now. This has been a year and a half in the making. We have been wanting to see him take the stand. We've been wanting to hear more details about this case. So hopefully we'll get a lot more details.
You also had testimony to give this court and bring you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Sure.
Let me turn down a little bit.
Sir, would you please state the name?
Christopher James Palmer.
It's been a difficult time, Madam President.
Yes.
This is your opportunity to tell your story.
Microphone.
This is your opportunity to tell your story. Are you ready to tell these people what happened?
Yes, ma'am.
If you need to take breaks, take a pause, you just let me know. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Just tell these people the truth. Did you harm Madalina Cojocari?
No.
Do you know where Madalina Cojocari is?
No.
Did you know that Madalina Cojocari was missing
No.
before you went to the school?
No.
So how old are you, sir?
Hold on a second. Okay, so he says he didn't know Madalina was missing before they went to the school. They didn't go to the school until December 15th. She went missing on November 23rd. Well, we saw her last time on the 21st. No, there's something not jiving here, guys.
He's 63 this month. June.
Is it okay if I call you Chris?
Yes.
All right, Chris, tell us a little about yourself. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Michigan, Lansing, Michigan.
Okay. And what did your parents do?
My dad was a design draftsman at General Motors, and my mother stayed home and took care of a lot of kids.
A lot of kids. How many kids is a lot of kids?
7 boys, 4 girls.
Wow. That's a lot. What was that like?
Well, I was in the middle. I always had younger ones below me, older ones above me. So I kind of hung both groups.
And are you close with your family?
Yes.
What do you do for work?
My last job was at General Dynamics in Huntsville, North Carolina.
And what do you do for General Dynamics?
I was a design draftsman of my father. I did mechanical designs, drafted mechanical parts to specifications of the engineers.
So he's like an architect of some sort, it sounds like. Wow, he had a big job.
Mr. Clerk, may I proceed? Mr. Clerk, I'm approaching with what's marked as Defense Exhibit Z. Mr. Palmer, would you please take a look at that document? that from General Dynamics?
Yes,
Is that your employee?
yes,
Is that a record of your time in, time out hours for the period November to December 2022?
yes, it is.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of your work times and relevant information regarding the work?
Yes, it is.
There are defenses to admit defenses didn't see. Any objection? No objection. So admitted. So, how long have you worked for General Dynamics?
I worked 2.5 years contracted to General Dynamics. In a few months, I went direct from September timeframe to November.
And what location do you work at? Where is your office?
It's in Plainsville, North Carolina, on the other side of Greensboro.
It's on the other side of Greensboro. How long does it take you to drive to work?
Hour and a half.
Do you have any effort? Mr. Clerk, I'm handing what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit R. Mr. Palmer, what is that document?
It's a Google map from my house to General Dynamics in Plainsville, North Carolina.
Would that does appear to be an accurate representation of the time, way that you drive to work?
Yes,
Would it aid in assisting? Is it illustrative? Would it aid in assisting your testimony?
yes.
Mr. Clerk, could I have the owl, please? What was that? Could you bring up the owl, please? And Your Honor, move to admit Defense Exhibit R.
Objection?
Yeah.
So admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may.
Top left. There. Thank you.
Twist that thing back.
Thank you, sir. All right, Chris. So that's the, this is the route that you typically take to work.
It's on 2 routes, but yes, I travel this way.
And what is your address?
180 Victoria Bay Drive, North Carolina.
Okay. And so when you drive to work, that's an hour and a half each way.
Yes.
Thank you. So can you tell us about what your typical work schedule is?
It's a 9-hour day. 8 in the morning till 5, or until I complete a 9-hour shift.
And what do you do for General Dynamics?
I design mechanical components for their military contractor, so they do a lot of Navy work for undersea communications.
Do you have to have any type of special security clearance to do that?
Yes.
And so tell us about the building. Is there anything special about the building that you're in?
We're on I think it's the second floor, and the exterior of the building is a cinder block with glass windows. And our design room is inside of those cinder blocks. So there's additional walls and doors.
What, if any, security is there for electronic communications coming in and out of the building?
Coming in or going out.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. If I'm getting phone calls, a lot of times the phone calls and emails, a lot of times the cinder block walls will, the communication will come in. And if I'm expecting a phone call or a email, I'll actually have to go outside and reload, remove my phone, and then look into email, or then I would be able to call. So it's a cumbersome task.
So, to put it in layman's terms, what's the reception like in that place?
It's not very good.
Are you able to get phone calls in there?
Phone calls, is hit or miss. Sometimes it is, sometimes it don't.
What about text messages?
Text messages seem to come in okay.
And tell us about any hobbies you have. What hobbies do you have?
Hobbies. I have a side business, laser engraving, so CO2 laser. Size of a really large printer, and I can cut and engrave projects that are 12 by 24 inches and up to 7 or 8 inches thick.
That sounds like a grave marker to me. And you can engrave something, and then the I don't know. That's what my mind went to.
And what type of things do you make with that engraving? With that
I have a lot of military clients, people that are retired from the Marines, Army. I have some specific groups, Boy Scouts of America, that I work with, and a whole lot of, just regular customers that just contact me, real estate, contact me and have me create some designs for them.
am handing you what has been marked as defense exhibit W1 through 15. Could you please take a look at that one?
He has skinny fingers. Like for his shoulders being so broad looking, like look at his skinny, he has skinny fingers to me. Well, gotta get out the readers.
You ready to answer those are?
Yes.
What are those?
These are ingredients of American flag.
Well, before we get to the specific on that,
Alright.
what are they generally? Where do they come
From my phone.
from? Those are pictures from your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Your central stipulation is that there's to admit exhibits W1 through 15. And the judgment.
Not this time.
So admitted. Mr. Clerk, please. All right, Chris. So you said that you have a side business doing laser engraving, is that right?
Yes.
And is this representative of the type of projects that you would do with that machine?
Yes.
You'd make like boxes and engrave images on them and what other type of thing would you engrave images on?
Wood, glass, plastic, acrylic, stainless steel, carbon steel.
And what type of machine do you use to make these types of things? It looks pretty cool. What do you do?
It's a CO2 laser. Works with my computer. I just create the designs in the computer and send them to the laser trader.
Oh, this is this part of those apparatuses that you would use to make those kinds of things?
Yes, that's my laser trader machine.
Okay. And how much does one of those cost?
That one was about $8,000.
You have more than one?
I have one.
And how's your memory?
It's not great. I remember events, but times and dates seem to get twisted a little bit.
How do you, what if any steps do you take to try to remember things?
I use my phone.
Okay. And what do you do on your phone?
To take pictures.
You take pictures of what?
Something I'm trying to remember, or I use notes.
I do the same thing.
Or just take notes and things I'm trying to remember. I'll actually even put pictures in the notes.
And that helps you recall things?
Yes.
He's going to tie all this in together somehow, so.
Mr. Crook, if you would, please. So you would take pictures of things to remember to do what? Can you explain?
If I'm going to the store, something that I should buy, or if I'm in the store, I would take a picture of it to, like this, look it up. Possibly buy it on Amazon if it's cheaper than it is in the store.
Okay, that's me.
So even things
That's
like
me to a T.
deodorant.
Yes,
So you took a picture of deodorant on December 5th?
yes.
What is this?
This is hair gel.
Hair gel. Okay. And you took a picture of hair gel also on December 5th?
Yes.
What is this item?
That's conditioner.
And you took a picture of conditioner
Yeah, it's hard to find this one.
on December 1st?
Yes.
What is this?
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste. Is it good toothpaste?
Yeah, pretty good.
And you took a picture of this on December 5th?
Yes.
All right, what are we getting here?
And sometimes the things that you try to remember are pretty mundane. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
What is this?
That is a battery.
Where's the battery go to?
Looks like it's my garage door opener, which
And,
is on the right-hand side of the picture.
okay, that's what that is on the right. And you took a picture of that on December 10th?
Yes.
Last one. We won't go through everything. What is this?
That is a fast water heater for coffee or tea. It was broken, so I was gonna try and find another one to replace.
And you took a picture of that on December 9th?
Yes.
Thank you. So let's talk about your relationship with Diana Cojocari. Is that going to be difficult for you?
We'll see.
If you get emotional, like I said, it's fine. Okay, don't be embarrassed. It'll be okay. So tell us about how you met Diana.
I met Diana on an online dating / writing site.
Can you tell us the name of that website?
Yeah, it was called Global Ladies.
Okay. And when did you do that?
I think it was in the 2008 timeframe.
And what did Diana represent herself to be?
A single woman born in 1979. She was a teacher, spoke, she graded herself on her English, said, speaking understands enough without an interpreter.
And did you communicate back and forth with her?
Yes, for probably a year, maybe two, before we actually met.
Okay, so when's the first time that you actually met?
Probably 2 years later.
And where did you meet? Let me put it that way.
First, we shared our regular emails, so we could communicate back and forth. And we met in Chisinau, Moldova.
And the first time you met her, was she still single?
Yes.
Okay. And on that first encounter with her, how did that go?
It went well. We just went to dinners. She was a teacher, so she was kind of like my guide to seeing some parts and art and things of that nature.
Did you make any future plans with her that first time that you met her in Moldova?
Yeah.
I don't recall, but there was a promise ring, I think in a later trip there.
So tell us about the promise ring in the later trip. When about did that happen?
Okay, so first trip he went there, and when everything went okay, he left. Next trip, he's given her a promise ring.
Well, things were going well in the first trip, and we agreed that we wanted to see each other more. So I had planned a second trip, and through our letters, things were progressing nicely. So I planned that trip, and I took a promise ring with me, not to propose, but just to basically say, you know, there's a potential future. And that's what the promise ring represented.
Okay. And did everything go well from there, or were there any issues?
It did, but it did, by the time we decided we wanted to proceed with an engagement, there was a lengthy returning process to get her a K-1 visa so she could come here to the United States.
Okay. And now, when did she come to the United States?
She and Madalina at that time it was 84.
Oh, wow.
They came.
So he did raise her. We've heard stories that he was actually the only one outside playing with her and stuff. Like, you know, he would be out there watching her on her bike. I didn't realize that she was that young.
Here in December of 2015.
Okay. Well, let's back that up because I feel like you skipped a step there because you went to go meet Diana in Moldova, right? Like around, I think you said around 2008 or so.
Yeah.
Okay. But you are not Madalina Cojocari's biological father.
No, there was a point in time where communication stopped after the first trip.
Okay.
There was a gap in our communication. And I figured she just moved on or something like that. And later, I tried to reach out multiple times. I think she finally did reach out, responded back to me and told me that she had gotten pregnant with a local man. And he didn't want anything to do with her, so she contacted me just to say, I'm still out here, I don't know if you're still interested or not. And then she, with pictures, introduced me to pictures of her and Madalina together. When Madalina was 1 or 2 years old.
All right, so let me get that straight. So you met Diana online,
Yes.
and you talked with her for a few years through messaging,
Correct.
and then you traveled to Moldova,
Yes.
and then you gave her a promise.
Yes.
And after you had done that, she had a sexual relationship with another man.
No,
Well, that was before the promise. You went,
yeah, she had the relationship prior to the promise ring.
but it was after you had went to Moldova and met with her and made plans.
Yes.
Okay. So how did that make you feel when you were supposed to be making plans together, and then she went and had a sexual relationship with another man?
At first, I just looked at like, that potential was not, that wasn't a potential anymore. But then she expressed interest, so we proceeded to communicate for a while.
And when she reached back out to you, she had Madalina. Madalina was her daughter, right?
Yes.
And did she represent to you that she wanted to come to the United States?
I mean, that's really the whole idea of the dating site, is that we're looking to connect with somebody. So she understood, she told me she explained to her family, her father and mother, that that's what she wanted to do. We supported her in that decision.
And how old did she tell you she was?
Well, her profile said she was born in 1979.
Okay. And then, so that she would have been, how old was she on the profile that you were viewing? How old did she say she was?
It didn't give an age, it just gave a birthday.
Just a birthday, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you came back to the United States, when did she come back to the United States to be with you?
In the end of 2015, in December, middle of December 17th or something like that, close to Christmas.
Okay. And did you end up getting married?
Yes.
And in the process, tell us about the process of getting married. What do you got to do to get married?
With the attorney that we had, to get her over here with a K-1 visa, you have 90 days to get married, or she has to return to her home country. So we got married in January, I believe it was January 9th of 2016.
And in order to do that, did you have to apply for a marriage license?
Yes.
They did it like the same month. They had 90 days. They weren't messing around. They did it like 2 days later.
Okay. What did you learn about Madalina Cojocari when you went to get the marriage license?
I found out that she was actually born in 1985.
Oh, she is my age.
So she had lied to you about how old she was.
Wow.
And you ended up, you still got married?
I would object as to the basis of knowledge as far as coming in for the truth of the matter.
So, tell us about Diana's personality.
Even when we met in Moldova, she's very spiritual. That's why she said age did not matter to her. Her parents didn't seem to have a problem with it because that was her decision. I know there's a little bit of spirituality when I was over there in Moldova, but it seemed to be progressively increasing as time went on.
Yeah, we'll cover that.
Okay.
When you first met her in Moldova, can you describe the spirituality that you're talking about?
We were actually at a little cafe, and she told me that she had a message from, I guess she speaks with angels, and they told her that she would meet somebody from America. I don't know if they said a name, but And that was her, I guess, download that the guy from America is the one you're to be with.
What, if anything, did you notice about her religious practices when you first met her?
When I first met her, they were Russian Orthodox. She and her family would go to the Russian Orthodox Church, which she pointed out to me when I visited her. But then she started studying other religions and was interested in the dynamics of other religions. Not that one religion was the only thing.
Did anything strike you as off about her when you met her in Moldova?
In Moldova? No.
And so,
Other than when she told me that she was informed by whoever she communicates with spiritually that the one from America would be the one that she would choose.
and she told you that she got that message from angels?
I don't remember exactly how she said it, but later on, I figured that's how it came about.
Okay. So, from what you're saying is that you kind of dismiss that as just being religious, or?
Yeah, I did. She told me she was in a prayer group there in Moldova. They prayed a lot together, went to church together, all hung out together, cooked food, had, little social get-togethers.
And what was your relationship like with Diana when she first came in 2017? What was it like?
It was really good. Madalina, I don't think spoke much English. She understood Diana in Romanian. So Diana would spend the nights with Madalina to comfort her, so she's comfortable in a new country.
Okay. That seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Protective.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think anything was unusual about that?
No.
And at that point in time, how was she with Madalina?
Very good. Yeah, she's a very protective mother.
And then as time went on, let's just say from 2017 to 2020, what was your relationship like with Diana from 2017 to 2020?
Her relationship with Diana, it was, I really didn't know what to expect. It's my first marriage. Couple dynamic, and then one with a little girl. It was all new to me.
Well, and that brings me to something I forgot to ask you about. So you've never been married before?
No.
Okay. So how old were you when you married Diana?
Not sure about that. I might have been 57 or 58.
Okay. And had you ever had, when was your first girlfriend? Ask you that.
Early.
When was your first girlfriend?
When I was in college.
And what about after that? Did you have any relationships?
No, nothing serious. There's a girl in the apartment building that had a liking towards it, so, but that was kind of like a summer thing.
And when was that?
In the,
50 years ago,
90s.
And
early 90s.
from then, other than that summer fling, did you have any serious relationship before you met Diana Cojocari?
Not serious. I had one date with a girl in college, and then we lost contact.
Basically, he didn't have a girlfriend ever until Diana.
And you have no other children?
No.
And so going back to Diana's personality, between 2017, 2020, 2021, what, if anything, did you notice about her as a mother during that time frame?
Her as a mother? She was very protective and attentive to Madalina. She prayed a lot. So during those times, she, I guess maybe wasn't as attentive to Madalina because she's praying, but Madalina was included in some of the prayers. So because you could say she was attentive to her then as well.
Tell us about the prayers that she was doing.
Well, she was listening to an older, she's probably from the 70s, woman that they created a church in, I think, Utah or somewhere like that. And Diana would follow her teachings and her prayers.
And what was this person's name?
Her name was Elizabeth Clark.
Okay. And in following those teachings, what, if anything, unusual did you notice between 2017 and 2021?
There was a lot of, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like chanting when they pray. They pray really fast, and the faster you pray, the more times you get a prayer in, the more extra credit you get.
Okay. And what'd you think about that?
I thought it was strange. She actually involved myself and Madalina in those prayers. We would actually, we didn't have a TV, but she would find YouTube videos of Elizabeth Clare Prophet, and we would say the prayers and chants, the meditations.
All this time, well, I'll separate that. At that point in time, did you sleep? At what point in time did you sleep in the same room with Diana?
We slept in the same room maybe a year, but I'm a guy, I snore, and I have early working hours. She either she wanted me to be fresh for work, or she didn't like the snoring, so she actually moved. She slept on an additional bed that Madalina had under her bed. There's a sort of a trundle, I think it's called.
So you both stopped sleeping in the same room around what time? You got married in 2017.
Yeah.
When did you stop sleeping in the same room?
Me, 2018.
And during this time frame, what was your romantic relationship like with Diana Cojocari?
Our romantic relationship was mostly spiritual.
Okay.
We were never romantic, peck on the cheek or kiss on the lips maybe on a birthday.
Okay, on her birthday.
What's that?
She would give you a peck on the cheek on a birthday?
Maybe, I mean, I think I would kiss her on the lips on birthday.
Okay,
Or for Christmas, thank you for the gift kind of thing.
okay. What about other times?
It was usually, when I would go to bed, I would just say goodnight to her. She would turn her cheek, kiss her on the cheek.
Were you ever physically intimate with Diana Cojocari?
No,
Never.
never.
So from the time you got married, you needed me, it's okay.
Never.
And was there any domestic violence in the house?
No.
So would you describe your relationship with her as more of a companionship?
Yeah, companionship, I was trying to learn the spiritual end of it so we could communicate better.
Wait, when you say communicate better, can you expound on that for us?
She was, so into her praying meditation that I felt that if I learned the meditations or the spiritual end of it, we would have a more even keeled relationship because that would be something that we would have in common. She was pretty advanced. I tried to learn it, but she'd always told me that this is just something you have to learn on your own.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned earlier that she was teaching Madalina this spiritual practice. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, she would turn on these, get the computer, put on Elizabeth Clare Prophet, and Madalina would say the meditations, prayers, chants, whatever, and they got progressively faster. Some of them were quite advanced. Donna was pretty fast with it. But and sometimes I think Madalina was faster. It's almost like a competition with her.
Did Diana,
I kind of believe him about the Madalina thing. I don't know. Like whenever he says her name, you can tell it's like painful. I don't know.
did Diana work anywhere?
That's really, she talked about getting a job. She wanted to create a YouTube business. Actually, she wanted Madalina to create a YouTube business as well. Madalina would like these little girl videos where they unbox dolls and horses and stuff. And Madalina watched it so much, she knew exactly what to say and how to do it. Diana thought that she would be really good at it.
So to summarize what you just said, Diana didn't have a job anymore.
That's correct.
Okay. So Diana, would she be at home
Yes,
during the day?
yes.
Okay. So what type of work were you doing from 2017 to 2020?
Yeah, I was working at Ingersoll-Rand, a tool company in Davidson, North Carolina, designing fluid pumps.
And how many hours a week did you normally work at that job?
It was a 40-hour week. There was 12 minutes to work.
So a lot closer.
Yes.
Who was responsible for caring for Maddie? Can we call her Maddie? Is that okay?
Yeah, that we call her Maddie. Maddie actually liked her full name, Madalina. She actually corrected some kids at school.
Right.
One time someone called her down Linda, and she got a little upset.
So who was responsible for her day-to-day care? Can you tell us like how the household works? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I'd go to work, Diana, would make sure that, Madeline got up in time for school. She was trying to get Madeline to pack her own lunch. She, made sure that Madeline took a bath, before she went to bed at night. She was 100% in charge of Madeline's education, development, the whole thing.
And going back, just talking about that time frame, how would you describe your family life from 2017 to 2021?
I mean, it was, a lot of my attention was on Madalina. Her mother seemed to be doing her prayers a lot, and Madalina would always ask me to play with her. I never turned her down.
It's okay.
She'll take bike rides, walks in the neighborhood, take her to the park. And Donna was usually the one that had me take her to the park and play all kinds of games with her.
How old was she when you were doing those things with her?
Her exactly, but she's like 8 to 11. In that time frame.
Up into, what about, well, we'll cross that. We'll cross that. Now, coming up to 2020, 2022, what type of things was Diana doing in 2022 in terms of spiritual activities?
She was doing a lot, even in the nighttime, when I was sleeping. She'd either be in her room or downstairs. Her chants, her prayers, her meditations got really loud. I think she felt the louder she sat down, the more, I'm just gonna say credit she got. There were times it was really hard for me to sleep because it was so loud.
Okay.
But a lot of times it went well into the night.
Okay. So, how loud were these chantings and prayers?
What is she chanting about?
With my door closed, it sounded like she was almost screaming at the top of her lungs.
And now she didn't do that when she came in 2017, did she?
No.
Okay. But in 2022, that behavior kind of started or escalated? Can you
It gradually escalated over time between 2017 and 2022. It gradually escalated.
And as part of her spiritual beliefs, what other type of things did you do other than chanting?
there were certain rituals that she would do. She always said she was fighting demons, and I know this, the example is from Elizabeth Clare Prophet, because I watched it. They would take a sharp knife and they would cut the imaginary strings that demons had around you. One time I sat in a chair while she took the knife underneath, above me, on the side, cutting the strings. And then she would also say some meditations or some chants when she was doing it. And then Madalina's turn in the chair, she did the same thing.
Was she exercising the demons out?
The demons, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, I guess that was, yeah.
And what about burning things? Did you ever burn things?
Yes.
Can you describe that for us?
We had a fire pit in the upper area of our yard, was built, and I built a fire pit back there for burning like.
We heard about that fire
some
pit.
woods and sticks and stuff like that. We actually roasted marshmallows back there. But over time, the burning got, she would burn like cat boxes up there and other things. But it progressed to be things
Why
that
cat
are
boxes?
even burnable, like stainless steel travel mugs and little racks for holding papers that are made of metal. A coat rack is made of metal. I went out there the next day to look what was in it. And all the things that were in the fire pit, they don't even, she must have put wood in there to burn with it, because they're not burnable. Other things, she was burning papers. With her writings, she had notebooks that she wrote in, she burned those. But she usually burned those in like a wooden pot, like the one that you cook a turkey in.
What the hell?
She would just put some lighter fluid in the bottom and burn the papers.
So she's writing all this stuff down, all these notebooks. And I know what that's like, because after my car accident, I did it for 8 years or something. I have like 8 years worth of notebooks, but I would never burn them unless I didn't want anyone to see what I was writing down. But then why write it down other than to get it out of your mind? Weird.
Okay, so for how many years was she burning things in the house?
I just noticed, like, in 2022, maybe a little bit earlier, I don't quite recall, the burning things that, makes you raise your eyebrow. But, I mean, we typically burn things, of all the stuff that I create with wood, I have scrap wood, and we would just burn stuff in the fire pit and just kind of tend the fire. But then over time, the burnings got to be things that made me raise my eyebrows. But that was later in 2022.
It's crazy he's saying all this stuff too, because the neighbors had said that they were I want to say a couch or something, like they were burning a couch or something around the time that Madalina went missing, or they were burning something like very weird back there.
Okay.
But it only came up like in one of the police reports. It was very like a little paragraph, and then we never really heard anything else about it.
Tell us about the prayer activities. What would she have you do as part of these prayer activities, if any?
She would have like a group or family meeting / prayer session, and she would generally lead it. and she would look up on YouTube prayers. They were generally from the Elizabeth Clare Crockett series. There's hundreds, maybe thousands of them.
And before we go too far forward into 2022, young man approach with me. Mr. Clerk, I'm handing Mr. Palmer listed mark as the defendant's exhibit. Lead 1 through lead 14. Mr. Palmer, if you could please take a look at that for me. You know what those are?
Yes.
Are those photos from your cell
Yes.
phone? You recognize them?
Yes.
Our defense was to admit, defendant exhibit B1 to B14. No objection. So the permission to publish.
Yeah. How many pictures are you going
Well, there's 14. We want to break for today.
Is this an okay stopping point?
Yes. Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's do that. Still a few minutes till 5, but.
Okay, yeah, so that was the first hour of the court proceedings. There he does like I think there's like 6 parts or something like that. So he's on the stand for a while. I think he's on the stand for a couple of days during this court proceeding. So we'll hear a lot more as we go on. What I think we'll do is we'll just do like maybe like 2 lives a day and then do one like in the daytime about Madalina or vice versa at night, and then we'll switch up another case till we can get caught up with all of them. Because there's a lot of updates coming out on a lot of the cases that we cover on the channel. So I want to go over Long Island, Rex Heuermann. I want to go over the Sarah Boone, new information's come out with her. That's just, I mean, at this point, it's entertainment, Sarah Boone, she's the entertainer of the year when it comes to, actually the entertainer of the last 4 years, or however long it's been. She's went through 9 attorneys now. So we'll see if she gets a 10th. See, lucky number 10. But hopefully you guys had a good time in the live today. It was a little bit of a shorter live or smaller group, but I figured as much. Everybody's been saying too much Sebastian. So I switched it up and then there's nobody here, which is, it's entertaining to me because then I go over to the live tab and it's like everybody that's putting out Sebastian Rogers stuff, that's where everybody's at. And it's like, y'all, come on now. Don't tell me to do that. And then I do it. And then y'all ain't here for me. Mary Beth, they're a good guy in the street. I hope the police are tracking Diana. I hope so too. And Chris, now that they're out of jail. So do you think that they're back over at the house? Like at his house? I mean, do you think they're there together? Because she doesn't have anybody. I mean, unless her mama's sending her money. Or Ricotta. Grandma Cojocari, that's another one. I'm surprised she's not over here yet. Like with a plane ticket for her daughter ready to go back home. But let me pull up this flyer, this person flyer of Madalina before we get off here today. But I will be back tonight at 9:35 p.m. With our live for this evening. I think we're going to either cover Long Island or we'll cover Sebastian. I wanted to cover like what I thought might have happened to him. But we'll see what we cover. So thank you guys all for being here today. And after I'm done reading this, I'll go ahead and I'll shut out the live. But this is missing 11-year-old at the time, Madalina Cojocari. She is missing from North Carolina, Cornelius, North Carolina. She's 4'10", 90 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. She went missing from North Carolina on November 23rd, 2022. She was last seen publicly on surveillance video getting off of her bus on November 21st at 5 o'clock. Madalina was reported missing to her school on December the 15th, 2022. Both Madalina's mother and her mother's husband have been arrested for failure to report Madalina missing, which we now know they are out. Madalina was last seen wearing a white t-shirt and a jacket, jeans, and pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes. If you have any information regarding Madalina's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Cornelius, North Carolina Police Department at 704-892-7773. And thank you guys all for being here today, and I will see you guys all tonight. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.